Hey coin collectors, and welcome to another joint video between the Big D Coin Channel and DC Coin World. And this is DC from DC Coin World, doing another video to kind of pay back Big D for those years ago when he kind of set up my channel for me. And I have just some nice looking dimes today, and that is the 1990 United States 1 dime coins. We have, as you can see right here, we have a pile of them. We have the P for Philadelphia here. We have the S for San Francisco. And then over here we have the D Mint for the Denver Mint. And as you can see, there's something a little funny about these coins. And you can hear it there, right? Because the San Francisco Mint coin is in a proof set. Now, it's not a silver proof set. Now, some people ask sometimes, in 1990, which dimes were silver? And it turns out that there were no silver dimes in 1990. The U.S. didn't start making the silver proof sets until 1992, and they stopped making the Roosevelt silver dimes in 1964 for general circulation. So from 1965 to 1991, no silver U.S. dimes out there. And if we kind of dump them all off, and I'll show you just to kind of show you, you see that when they do the proof sets, they burnish the image quite a bit differently. And you can see the S there. In God We Trust under his chin, you can really see the initials on this one. JS for John Sinek. Says Liberty in front of Roosevelt, who's facing to the left. If we flip it over, we see that it has, nope, wrong one. There we go. We flip it over, we see that it says United States of America at the top, 1 dime at the bottom. Right across the center here it says E Pluribus Unum. And right in here we see a torch with an olive branch on one side and an oak branch on the other side. Strength from the oak, peace from the olive, and eternal flames from the torch. You also see very clearly that there is a dot on each side of the E Pluribus Unum. Now, one of the things that you look for in these coins, in whether they're proof coins or not, is the 2 bands on here. And so let's look at the band on the top. And you can't see great separation, at least not through the plastic, but I'm not sure. There we go. There's some pretty good separation. And down here on the bottom, we see a little tiny bit of separation down there between these 2 bands here. And then we see this lip. It's funny, when you get a real good coin, the lip looks like it sticks up a little bit. It's like kind of a little flattened. When you look for dimes from 1990, what you're looking for is the fold band version, or FB, or sometimes they call it the FTB or FT, the full torch band. So you look at the bands on the torch and see if you have the full bands, and that's how you're going to rate your coins. Now, of course, when we start looking at the regular coins, now here's one, the 1990 D from Denver. We're going to change the light a little bit on this one because you'll see that on these the regular circulation coins, the light has to be a little bit different. There we go. Let me make it completely different. There, that's much better. And let me tip it up just a little bit. And then we'll bring over a couple other coins here. And we see that these 2 are both the P's. And you can see the P right there from Philadelphia. So we have a bunch of these coins here. Let's separate them out. There's another P. We'll put those Philadelphias on that stack. There's another P. And see how the P's look slightly different? This one almost looks like a D. If you chopped off the bottom, it would look a little bit like a D. That's a funny looking P. And you get some of those just because, guess what? They made 840 million Ds, and they made 1.034 billion P's. So 1.034 billion of these, and you're going to have some messy looking coins. It's guaranteed. All right, so now down to the D and the P, and we have them both right there. That's a Denver Mint there. That's the Philadelphia Mint there. And if we look down underneath both of them, we will see that we have the JS for John Sinek, who was the engraver of these coins. On these ones, we look at Roosevelt, and we see that these are quite worn. If you want to get money from one of these coins, it's really hard to do it from a circulating version of the coin. You need to get up to about mint state 65, which is pretty close to what we saw in here. This might be a little over mint state 65, but it's pretty close to this. But it would have to be a circulating coin. In other words, it'd have to be the D or the P looking as good as that San Francisco Mint coin does in the plastic. That's going to be kind of hard to do. If you get up to mint state 65, you're still only talking about $3 or $4 each. So in uncirculated mint state 65 condition, $3 or $4, maybe a little bit more, maybe as much as $7. But it turns out that it costs $7 or so to get it graded. And you're not going to be able to sell one of these in mint state unless you get it graded by PCGS or one of the agencies. And that's going to cost you maybe $6 or $7, depending on how many coins you get graded at the same time. However, if you can get up to a mint state 69, which is just a beautiful, beautiful coin, the Denver Mint state 69 sold, the highest price it sold for is $470, and the mint state 68 from Philly sold for $203. Not much over this. I don't even know if there's any in the population that's over 68 for the Philadelphia coin. So there's just not very many there. Now, what did the S coin? Well, they made 3.3 million of these. Where is that dime? Of the San Francisco Mint dimes, 3.3 million. Goes for $2 to $3 each. And this, sometimes you'll see here, this called a cameo, which just pops out. But this isn't quite in cameo condition. You see that there's this little residual stuff on the coin underneath from the plastic. Sometimes they put it in this material, and the material starts to deteriorate a little bit over time. And so sometimes you get a mint, U.S. Mint proof set, and the coins have a little bit of layer of on them just from the deterioration within the set. So be careful of those. But again, make sure if you want to get pay some money for one of these coins and it's a 1990, make sure that you get a graded version, because if it's not graded, it's really hard to sell and it's really hard to get a value of much over $7 to $8. These are still out there. They're easy to get. And I just want to take a look at the torches on these. Now, we talk about the full bands, and you need to have full bands to get any money for these, and certainly to be in mint state 68 or 69. This band down at the bottom, you can't even see it at all. It looks like just one band, no separation. This band at the top, a little separation. And this one here, you can't see that little flip up that you see on the really good coins. This one, you see a little bit of the flip up. You see separation there. You can almost see separation here, but certainly not full band versions in any way, shape, or form. And let's take one more look at this full band versions just to make sure what we're talking about. And the full band versions, we see good separation. We see separation on both the top and the bottom, and this little flip down here where we see the lines between the bottom band and the little thing that sticks out in the bottom. I'm not even sure what that's called. Essentially, it's where you hold the torch with your hand. It kind of keeps the torch from slipping out. All right, well, that's all we have today from DC Coin World and from Big D Coins. Thanks again, Big D Coins, for helping me start my channel, and hopefully the fans will like this video and leave any comments you might have in the comments section.